Thanks for tuning into my channel. This is Beth with Farm Fresh Vintage Finds. Today I'm going to be showing you how I refinished this tabletop using DIY Dark and Decrepit liquid patina and sealing it with DIY Big Top. The first thing you're going to want to do is sand off all of the current top coat and stain if there is any on your piece. What I'm using is a 60 grit sandpaper on an orbital sander. I started out by using 2 pieces of 60 grit sandpaper for this project. I always like to change out my paper periodically because if not, you can get particles on your paper and it'll cause you to have little swirls in the wood, which is always a pain to have to get out. So after I used the 60 grit, I changed to a 100 grit, and then finally the last grit that I used was 120 grit. And you always want to make sure and run your sander along the edges of your piece just to make sure that there's not any leftover paint or top coat or stain on it, and so that you have a nice smooth edge. And then the next step is going to be to clean the surface to get all of the dust and debris off. You can see here that I took a putty knife and kind of went through the cracks. Since this is an outdoor table, it is not glued together in any way, so it was easy to just kind of run the putty knife through, get out all of those little pieces of dust and debris, and then I used a chip brush to clean out any leftover dust. So your next step is going to be to start staining. I have the Dark and Decrepit patina, and I'm just using actually the same chip brush that I had to dust everything off with to apply it, making sure to get into all the cracks and crevices because you want to make sure that you have stain down in those areas. And then once I am done getting a good bit of stain on the surface, I'm taking my foam pad and just rubbing it in and getting off any excess. One of the main issues that I see when people are staining furniture is that they put too much stain on and don't take it back off. It's great to just apply stain, but you have to make sure that you take off any excess, and that as you're doing that you kind of rub it around into the wood. If not, it just sits on top of the wood and it doesn't end up drying properly and just causes problems when you get ready to put your top coat and sealer on it. And then your last step is to apply your Big Top top coat. This is also a water-based product, and it's fabulous for use with a foam brush. It's very easy to apply and it dries pretty quickly. So I'm going to do 2 coats of that on the table, and I try to do my strokes as long as possible. It's perfect if you can go the whole length of the table because that helps to minimize the brush strokes. And so as you can see, this is a pretty simple project. Just takes some elbow grease and time. You have to get in there with your sander and really take your time and get all of the old stain and top coat off. If you want to watch a video on how I refinish the chairs that go with this set, you can watch that on the DIY A Go-Go channel. I will link that below. And if you want to purchase any of these products, all the links will be in the comments. Please like this video and subscribe and hit the bell. I have lots of great tutorials coming up, and you can read my blog at farmfreshvintagefinds.com. Thanks.